What's up, champs? I want to talk about two things that completely change my way of thinking, changes my way of being, changes everything in my life when I put these two things in perspective. And anyone who's followed me since 2015 already knows about these two things that when I'm on a roll, I enjoy doing, and it completely changes my mindset. It changes my body. It changes my soul. It changes the way I move, the way I work, the way I communicate with others. Growing up, one of these things I've not that I hated, but I wasn't a fan of. And then the second one is something that I still don't really like to this day, but I realize that when I do it and I'm getting it done and I start to get the ball rolling, things change. It's almost like an adrenaline rush. Let's get to it. One I want to talk about, number one, is reading. Reading books nowadays, now that I'm older, much older than I was when I was younger, I actually enjoy reading books. I enjoy gaining knowledge. I enjoy reading anything that's really going to make me better. And I enjoy learning new things, opposed to when I was a little younger. It was a little different. It was almost like I'll figure it out. I was being a stubborn guy. um, but now that I'm a lot older, I appreciate reading books. I appreciate gaining knowledge because another thing is it helps me in conversation. When I'm conversing with someone and I'm reading on a certain topic, I can let that conversation flow so much more easier than when I was younger. So that's why I really enjoy reading. I enjoy reading all kind of books. When I started my whole reading journey, I want to say, was probably, I've always read sporadically, but I really put a lot of energy in reading back in 2015. I was going through some things, in life you go through ups and downs, and you want to go through, you want to find something that's really going to help you out. So to me, I read a book called The Mentor. I don't know where I got the book, but I found the book in my house. No one claimed it. Well, not at my house, my parents' house. No one claimed it. I remember I was at my mother's house, and I said, "Whose book is this?" No one knew whose book it was. It was called The Mentor. I forgot the name of the author. It wasn't my brother's. I'm like, whose book is this? Anyway, I picked up the book and I started reading it, and they talked about a gentleman who was getting into trouble. He ended up getting locked up, going to jail, and he met someone, I think in the present, who came out after him and changed his entire life. And it was pretty much his mentor. It talked about him helping him out and doing certain things, teaching him discipline and teaching him how to grow his own business. It was a phenomenal book, to me personally. And I spoke about this before back then in 2015 on Periscope. But it really changed my way of thinking because his thing was he ran early in the morning, like at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 times out of the week. He ran that. He had a little road that he ran, and he always ran it. So he told him and said, "Listen, if you really want to change your life, meet me under the bridge, and let's run. We're gonna run. I'm gonna be there at 4 o'clock. Meet me there. Don't quote me because I'm probably slaying the way this book goes, but it's something around these lines. They would run that road. I think they would run like 5 miles or whatever. Let's say 5 miles. The point is that the guy was his mentor, and we're talking about discipline. So he was disciplined enough to do this running every day. So for me, I took that into consideration for myself. I said, you know what? I don't like running that much, but I know when I do run, I feel great. I feel phenomenal. So the point is, I'm chasing that good feeling. I'm in a mental state that I'm not doing well. I don't like the way I'm feeling. I'm stressed out about certain things. So my thought process at that time was, okay, I'm gonna read books. I'm gonna read self-help books. And at this time, I was going through I was listening to Les Brown and a whole bunch of motivational speakers at the time, and I was reading books, different books, self-help books that I had in the past that I picked up and never read. So it really helped me out. So what I would do, I would run 3 times out of the week. It would probably be like a Monday or a Wednesday, and then I'll pick Saturday. Saturday being a day that people say, "Oh, today's my day off." In reality, it's day off of work, not off yourself. It's not a vacation for your body. It's for you to relax from work, but you should still work on yourself. So for me, I wanted to go against the grain. So I at the time I was working on Saturday. I still work on weekends, but at the time I was working on Saturday a little later, so I would wake up extra early, right? I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be by in New York City, George Washington Bridge at 7 a.m. and I would run that bridge across New Jersey or Fort Lee, and I would read a book. I'm sorry, this is where number two, the running part, that I actually got from the book. So yeah, I would run that bridge every Saturday. I mean, I'm talking about nice weather, bad weather. It did not matter.
Ooh, baby, it started raining. That ain't gonna stop us. We getting this money, baby. Yeah.
I would post it on Instagram, and people were getting motivated. Clients that I had were getting motivated. People that I was working with, when I was doing real estate in New York, you know, they would come with me. The only thing is that they wouldn't last. And I had this thing that I was so disciplined that if you're not there at 7 o'clock, I'm out. I'm leaving. Catch me if you can. Meet me on the other side. So there were some people who would run with me every weekend. Some people didn't. Some people kind of fell off and was like, "Oh man, like I admire you for doing that." And it's not about anybody else at the time. It was about me. It was about bettering myself. So those two things really help me out when I get down to the nitty gritty, running and reading. And I recommend those two things to you guys because I try it out. Everyone is different, and I always say try to find something that's gonna motivate you. And when I say motivate you, books motivate me. I remember being young, not liking to read too much. I would read some things, but not the way I read now. And it really helps the mental state. So any of you young guys or young girls who's watching this YouTube and you don't read, anybody who's older who doesn't read, you should read, man. Like it's really gonna open up your mind, open up the way you see things in life, and you're gonna appreciate things a lot more. And if you hate running and you're trying to lose weight, whatever the case may be, if you go ahead and go against the grain.
Let me tell you something. I really hate running. I don't like it. But you know what? I figured, hey, let me just go against the grain, do something I don't like, and at the end I'm gonna feel good about it.
By the way, I'm all over the place with this video, but I wanted to speak upon it. So my apologies if I didn't lay it out the proper way. But I got the running part from Will Smith. Actually, I was watching I think he was doing a Nickelodeon award show or something like that, some kids award show, and he said two things. This is really why I got it, and I don't remember. There's two things that really matter. It's running and reading. And, you know, running because when you're running, you're just kind of like running for your fucking life, man. You're just running and running and running. And it's one of those things that you want to stop, but in your mind, you know, you have to set a goal. Okay, I said I'm going to run 5 miles today. I'm going to run this 5 miles. I said I'm going to run to this point. I'm going to run to this point. So that was an important thing. And then just the reading thing, it just opens up your mind, man. So my thing was I ran across that bridge. I think it was 3 miles back and forth. I can't really remember, but I would run a mile and a half. I would sit down. I'll have my book. I'll read my book. I have 2 books sometimes. I read them. I read a few chapters of each book. And then I run back and have me a healthy breakfast, go home, and I'll get dressed and I go to work. And it was just like the adrenaline rush that I had when I would do that. It's called epoch. Imagine a spin bike, right? Or just a bicycle, the back of the bike with that has the gears. You spin that bike and you leave it alone. It's going to continue spinning. That's going to be the rest of your day when you run in the morning. And to me, doing that in the morning, especially on Saturdays when no one was really running, anybody who I knew, there was people on that bridge running, but not as much as there was like on the weekdays in the mornings. But something about doing something against the grain just helped me out. So if you have, it has to do with willpower. If you can grab that willpower, you can change your mindset by doing the things that you don't like to do, but you know that's gonna better you, you're ahead of the game, baby. And I would highly recommend for any of you guys to go against the grain, to do things that you don't like to do. Challenge yourself to do those things. Because it personally helped me and helped a lot of people who were doing it with me at the time. They, fell off. I mean, we all fall off. And in my case, I ended up moving to the West Coast, but I didn't continue it the way I did back in New York. But I was just thinking about that because I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. I said, you know what, man, I gotta go back to that running and reading. I'm doing a lot of reading, but I'm running sporadically. I don't run those early mornings. I run, okay, let me run at night because I have time right now. Plus, it's not part of my goals, but just the running part to me, doing that, it just, for some reason, it just helps my body out. It just helps me, just gets things rolling, man. It just helps. So if you're going through something in life, man, if you're finding things challenging, you're trying to lose weight, whatever the case may be, man, once you try that out, read a book, pick up a book. If you guys need any suggestions, I'm going to drop my email, train@thefitframe.com. is going to be in the description. Feel free to email me, guys. I'll give you some great book recommendations. And if you don't enjoy running, or if you can't run, ask away. I'll give you some good tips. I'll let you know what you guys can do. I'll post those things. But I wanted to share that with you guys. Quick video. But running and reading, those two things that help change my life when I'm going through things. So hopefully you guys can take them to books with you. Shout out to you guys. Stay fit for life. Remember to picture the goals, frame the results. Crown C, Crown Cold Bank.